Now, to a fascinating story of survival. The father of a 16-year-old Somali-American boy was stowed away in the wheel well of a plane that traveled from California to Hawaii says he was shocked by the incident, but thankful that his son is alive. The teenager lived through a 5.5-hour flight over the Pacific Ocean Sunday, despite being exposed to high altitude and sub-zero temperatures. Here's an explainer on what the boy likely endured.
We're standing underneath a Boeing 767. There's been a lot of discussion about this story. It almost seems too good to be true for somebody to survive a 5.5-hour flight in a wheel well at 38,000 feet. He would have crawled right up this. So you've got these 4 huge wheels and this massive landing gear right here. And when this landing gear retracts all the way up, probably less than a foot of space wide to really fit into. It's an incredibly narrow space where somebody's just going to be almost in the fetal position for 5.5 hours. Ugh. He could wedge himself right here because the tires will come to right here, right to the edge of this. He'd have to kind of be slumped over almost like this to survive once this door opens and once the landing gear comes out. And if the plane hit any kind of turbulence, I mean, it'd be like riding a roller coaster without a seatbelt. When the plane goes to land, those tires just drop. But I mean, they don't slowly retract, they drop. And when those tires drop, you drop with them. I mean, the plane's flying at 300 miles an hour, you know, in a low oxygen environment. No, you are not going to be able to hold on to that tire. That's not going to work. My theory is it's a bit of a miracle. I mean, there's almost no oxygen at 38,000 feet. Freezing cold temperatures, 50 degrees below zero. I mean, it's a miracle. He got incredibly lucky.
Unbelievable. Now, Abdilahi Yusuf Abdi, who lives in Santa Clara, California, is the father of a 16-year-old Yahya Abdi. He says his son is recovering from the harrowing ordeal in a Hawaii hospital. The father told VOA in an exclusive interview that Allah had saved his son from dying. Now, for more details on this incredible story, we are joined by Mohamed Olad from VOA Somali Service. Mohamed, welcome to Africa 51 once again.
Welcome to have me here.
Now, I'm delighted to say that you're actually the one who conducted this exclusive interview with the father.
Absolutely, yes. And it was very difficult to get through to the father in the first place. You can imagine a lot of media outlets, journalists, cameramen were standing in front of his door, ringing his bell, sometimes knocking, sometimes following his taxi cab. And then VOA Somali Service received that opportunity to contact him and convince him to speak to our programs, one of our programs exclusively.
It's amazing. Now, what did he tell you? When did he get to learn that was his son who was trying to get out?
Well, he says he got a phone call from police department in Hawaii telling him that they were holding his son in one of their detention centers, and they told him that what happened to his son, and he says he was stunned and shocked. He couldn't believe in the first time, and he said after the police in Santa Clara got the information, they contacted him too, and they explained to him about what happened, and that's when he realized that his son survived from a dangerous trip, and he was thankful to God, and he said, now I'm relieved. And that's when we secured his contact and made the interview.
Yes. Now, was there any indication from what he told you that his son had plans to go away, go somewhere?
Well, he says the boy was very cool, and he had some challenges at school, but all he was talking about was Africa. He was saying, want to go back Africa. The father says his grandparents, grandpa and grandma are living in somewhere in Africa. He didn't specifically mention the place, but he says his grandparents are living in Africa, and the boy was always talking about them. So he could mean that he was trying to hide in this plane to go somewhere in Africa. But
now, it's a really amazing story. So what does he say he plans to do after this?
Well, he was informed that his son is under health checks and that he will be returned soon to home. And I asked him about if he had anything about the investigation that was underway about how incident happened. And he says that the police department in Hawaii informed him that his son is innocent, that he risked his life, and that he was only a symbol stowaway. and that he was no longer that he was not threat to the security of the planet and also the American security, and that he will be returned home soon. But he was not told specifically the date he will be returned home, and that's why most of the media outlets in America are still standing in front of his door, waiting the time the boy is coming back.
What an amazing story. And Mohamed, congratulations for securing that interview.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Mohamed Olad is a reporter with VOA's Somali service.